Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati-ruttama-shloke Bhaktir-bhavati naistiki Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri-gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa-kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishthaya bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 8. Dhruva Mahārāja leaves home for the forest. So slowly we have reached to the beautiful pastime of Dhruva Mahārāja. It is being narrated in the 5 chapters, as we saw yesterday. And this was the pastime very highly relished by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit when they used to sit together and discuss Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So this chapter 8 is divided into 7 sections, right? Text 1 to 5, it is lineage of Adharma. So what has happened is, while describing the lineage of Manu's daughters, Maitri also describes the lineage of Brahma's sons, like Marichi, right? And now he is going to describe the lineage of the remaining sons of Brahma before describing lineage of Manu's daughter. So in sequence, we are studying. So here it is lineage of Adharma. Then in that particular thing, 6 to 16, we will see Suruci chastises Dhruva Mahārāja and Dhruva's reaction. That Uttānapāda is not welcoming Dhruva Mahārāja to sit. And Suruci, we know that Uttānapāda has 2 wives, Sunīti and Suruci. And Suruci was very envious and proud. She was very beautiful. And therefore she was very cunningly very close to the king. And she became angry when Dhruva wanted to ascend on the throne. And she chastised Dhruva in a very heavy words. And Dhruva looked at his father, Uttānapāda. He completely neglected the situation. He was expecting some compassion, some soothing words from father. And that made Dhruva extremely angry. And then he goes to his mother, Sunīti. Right. Then text 17 to 23, there is a very beautiful Upadesh by Sunīti. Right. What amazing Upadesh. She says, my dear child, you can attain whatever you want when you take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Currently, you are under protection of one mother, but that Supreme Lord is like millions of mothers put together. Please take shelter of that Supreme Lord. So, and then there is text 24 to 34. Here, Narada Muni, so Dhruva leaves home 5 years old. He doesn't know where to go. He just walks out, extremely angry, somewhat pacified. Now anger is directed towards, I want to attain the Supreme. Right. And this is very, very typical. This is the classic example of bhakti in Rajoguna. Right. And Narada, he comes on the way. And Narada, he first says, my dear child, you're just a child. Why do you take things so seriously? Go back, play, enjoy life. But Dhruva is very determined. And Dhruva, he is tested by Narada Muni. He passed the test of Narada Muni, and then Narada Muni instructs Dhruva Maharaj in the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then text 35 to 62, long text it is, 35 to 62. This is Dhruva Maharaj expresses his ambitious goal, and Narada instructs him on the process how to attain that goal. He asks him to go to Madhuvan and practice Ashtanga Yoga, meditate on the Lord's form, and chant the Dwadashakshara mantra and worship the deity. So these are the instructions given to Dhruva. And then while Dhruva Maharaj continues with his onward journey, here Uttānapāda is in great feeling of guilt and separation from his own child Dhruva. So Narada Muni, he goes back to Uttānapāda and he inspires Uttānapāda and he says that don't be so morose. You are going to have, your son is going to be a Mahabhagavat personality, and within 6 months you will see the results. I have already met him, I have instructed him, and you don't come in the way of his austerities or anything. Let him do whatever he wants to do. And then from text 71 to 82, Dhruva's severe austerities and the effect of that austerity. Right. So very, very beautiful chapter this is. We'll continue with text 1. Chapter 8. Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Text 1. Maitreya uvacha sanakadya naradascha rubhur hamso aruniryati nete gruhan brahmasuta kya avansan urdhvaretasah. Translation.
The great sage Maitreya said, the 4 great Kumaras, sages headed by Shanaka as well as Narada, Rubhu, Hamsa, Aruni and Yati, all sons of Brahma, did not live at home but became Urdhvareta or Naishtika Brahmacharis, unadulterated celibates. Purport. The system of Brahmacharya has been current since the birth of Brahma. A section of the population, especially male, did not marry at all. Instead of allowing their semen to be driven downwards, they used to lift the semen up to the brain. They are called Urdhva Retasha, those who lift up. The semen is so important that if by the yogic process one can lift the semen up to the brain, he can perform wonderful work. One's memory is unable to act very swiftly and the duration of life is increased. Yogis can thus perform all kinds of austerity with steadiness and be elevated to the highest perfectional stage, even to the spiritual world. Vivid examples of brahmacharis who accepted this principle of life are the 4 sages Shanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana and Sanat Kumara, as well as Narada and others. Another significant phrase here is Naite Grahan Hevasan. They did not live at home. Graha means home as well as wife. In fact, home means wife. Home does not mean a room or a house. One who lives with a wife lives at home. Otherwise, a sannyasi or brahmachari, even though they may live in a room or in a house, does not live at home. That they did not live at home means that they did not accept a wife, and so there was no question of their discharging semen. Semen is meant for discharging when one has a home, a wife, and the intention to beget children. Otherwise, there is no injunction for discharging semen. These principles were followed from the beginning of creation, and such brahmacharis never created progeny. This narration has dealt with descendants of Lord Brahma from Manu's daughter Prasuti. Prasuti's daughter was Dakshayani or Sati, in relation to whom the story of Daksha Yagya was narrated. Maitreya is now explaining about the progeny of sons of Brahma. Out of many sons of Brahma, the brahmachari sons headed by Shanaka and Narada did not marry at all, and therefore there is no question of narrating the history of their descendants. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So now here, many sons of Brahma, including Narada, Rubhu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati, did not get married. And thus they remained Naishtika Brahmachari, or they are called as Urdhvaretasa. There is a reference to Kumaras, right? Narada, Rubhu, fourth is Hamsa, fifth is Aruni, sixth is Yati. So these are the great personalities. And then many more. They did not live at home or did not get married, and thus they are called as Urdhvaretasa. So these are 6 plus 3, 9 personalities. 4 Chatushkumar plus many more, but these are the personalities. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives entire emphasis on Urdhvaretasa, or somebody who is a Naishtika Brahmachari. We know in the Varnashram system, there is a Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, Grihastha, and Sannyas. And the section of the society, very fragmental section of the society, which remains Brahmachari and continues to remain a Brahmachari, they are called as Naistika Brahmachari. And thus there will not be any progeny to them. And such celebrated Brahmacharis, they are called as Urdhvaretasa, right? And the examples are, the 4 sages, and these are the examples: Narada, Hamsa, Aruni, Yati. They did not live at home. Srila Prabhupada says living at home doesn't mean living in a room or a house. Live at home means accepting a wife. And because they did not accept wife, they did not have children, and therefore there is no question of their progeny is to be described. Right. Text 2. Mrishadharmasya bharya sid dambham mayam cha shatruhan asutamithunam tattu nivrittir jagruhe graja prajah. Translation.
Another son of Lord Brahma was a religion, whose wife's name was Falsity. From their combination were born 2 demons named Dambha or bluffing and Maya or cheating. These 2 demons were taken by a demon named Niruti, who had no children. Purport. It is understood herein that Adharma, a religion, was also a son of Brahma, and he married his sister Mrisha. This is the beginning of sensual life between brother and sister. This unnatural combination of sensual life can be possible in human society only where there is Adharma or a religion. It is understood that in the beginning of creation, Brahma created not only saintly sons like Sanaka, Sanatan, and Narad, but also demoniac offspring like Niruti, Adharma, Dambha, and Falsity. Everything was created by Brahma in the beginning. Regarding Narada, it is understood that because his previous life was very pious and his association very good, he was born as Narada. Others were also born in their own capacities according to their backgrounds. The law of karma continues birth after birth, and when there is a new creation, the same karma comes back with the living entities. They are born in different capacities according to karma, even though their father is originally Brahma, who is the exalted qualitative incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So another son of Brahma was irreligion, that is Adharma, and whose wife's name was Falsity. Right. Bharyam cha Dambha. And from their combination were born 2 demons named as Dambha and Maya. The bluffing and cheating were born when Adharma got married to Falsity. Right. So Adharma is the father, Falsity is the mother, and their children are Dambha, bluffing, and Maya, that is cheating. These 2 demons were taken by the demon Nirutti, who had himself no children, and thus he maintained them and raised them. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, Adharma, irreligion, is also son of Brahma. So when you say creation, Brahma has to create everything, create positive as well as negative. Somebody will say, why negative Brahma is creating? Because he has to facilitate those living entities who have very sinful desires. Therefore, Brahma creates negative also. Right? Just like classic example Srila Prabhupada gives, just like the state has to create the police, the education department and the prison department. Right? So those who are obedient, for them there is garden is created. For those who are uh, not obedient, sinful, for them prison is created. But both are creations of the state only. Right? So in everything Prabhupada says, Brahmaji, he created all these different things. Here is another example of Prabhupada says, Adharma getting married to his own sister, that is Mrisha or falsity. And this is the beginning of the sinful life. And therefore, if you see very carefully, in the arranged marriages, there will never marriage between the Sagotra Vivaha. Right? And this is very systematic. It is not some some out of this idea. Sagotra Vivaha means that within the Gotra, everybody is considered as a brother and sister, and you will never marry your sister. And here it was done by Adharma, who got married to Mrisha, and thus there was Dambha and Maya was born. So this is the life of irreligion. So there is a particular section of Abrahamic religions where they just don't see anything. I was talking to one person. He said that हम तो कुछ देखते नहीं सर ऐसा. किसी को भी किसी के साथ भिड़ा देते हैं. He was like so blunt. किसी को भी किसी के साथ भिड़ा देते हैं. And there is a very scientific study on this, that Sagotra marriages, how they lead to degenerated progeny. And it is very scientific that how the marriage should not be Sagotra, and if there is a Sagotra marriage, statistically it is proven in one particular study that how they lead to a particular type of degeneration within the family lineage. And therefore, whatever we follow, that matching of the kundali, the gotra, nadi, charana, all these things, they are very scientific. It is not some dogmatic idea for coming from the Vedas or Sanatan Dharma and something like that, which is outdated now. No, they are indated. Science is yet to reach how great these ideas are. Right? Slowly they are reaching there. So another point Prabhupada says here, that the law of karma continues birth after birth. This is very important thing. That the guna that we cultivate, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun, the actions that we give, the reactions that we receive, it is not that mar gaye to everything is over. No. The law of karma will continue. So in case of Narada Muni, Prabhupada says his previous life, we already know previous life of Narada Muni. He was the son of a Dasi Putra, son of a maid servant. He had amazing association, great mindset. He practiced devotional service, pleased the Supreme Lord. Next life, he was born as Narada. But others, like Nirutti and these personalities, they were very sinful in their previous life. And the reactions of the sins continued life after life. So law of karma is not up to, it is not that, law of karma, you believe it acts on you. No, not like that, sir. It acts on everyone. If you are Hindu, it will act on you. No, it acts on all religions. It is like law of gravity. It doesn't say that, the law of gravity will act on Hindu. The law of gravity will act on, these particular 4 months in a year. No, it acts always on everyone. And similarly is the case of law of karma. So different people were born differently based on their previous lives and the modes and the karmas that created by their actions and reactions. X3. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Tayo sambhavat lobha nikrutischa mahamate tabhyam krodhascha himsamscha yaduruktir swasakalihi. Translation.
Maitreya told Vidura, O great soul, from Dambha and Maya were born greed and Nikruti or cunning. From their combination came children named Krodha, anger, and Hinsa, envy. And from their combination were born Kali and his sister Durukti, harsh speech. Harsh speech, sorry.
Yeah. So now this is the lineage of adharma. Look at the lineage of adharma. What is happening? Damba and Maya were born. Sorry. From Damba and Maya. So now look at this. Damba and Maya, they are children of Adharma and Mrisha. They are born two demons, namely Damba and Maya. And Damba and Maya, from their combination came the children named as Krodha and Himsa. And from their combination came Kali and Durukti. Durukti is the harsh speech. So how important it is to avoid harsh speech, right? This is something which is very, very immediately we can start controlling. And therefore there is Vak Tapasya. Bhagavad Gita, I think 18.42, 43, 44 describes about three types of tapasya that we should be doing, right? And one is tapasya of the body, then there is tapasya of that is Brahma Karma Svabhavajam. But then there is, that there is tapasya of the mind, there is tapasya of the vak, and this is vak tapasya. Lord Krishna says very beautifully, Yasmin no udvijate loko no udvijate chayah. This is the criteria. By my speech, are people getting udvegata, disgusted with my speech or disturbed by my speech? Unless I'm in authority to do that and on intention I am doing this so that there is correction to be brought about. So they were all, these personalities were born. Now let us see. Here looks like everybody, these brothers sisters are getting married everywhere here in the family of Adharma. Text 4. Duraktau kaliradatta bhayam mrityum cha sattama tayoscha mithunam jadne yatana nirayastatha. Translation.
O greatest of all
O
men,
greatest of all
by
men,
the combination of Kali, the harsh speech were born children named Mrityu, death, and Bhiti, fear. From the combination of Mrityu and Bhiti came children named Yatana, excessive pain, and Nairaya, hell. Hare Krishna.
So the lineage further continued, and here he says, from the combination of Kali and Durukti were born Mrityu and Bhiti. Right. So this is the combination of Kali and Durukti. And from the combination of Mrityu and Bhiti came Yatana and Niraya. Niraya means hell. So this is how they were born. So how the lineage is taking place? Brahma gave birth to Adharma and Mrisha, irreligion and falsity. Irreligion and falsity combined together to give birth to Dambha and Maya, that is bluffing and illusion. Dambha and Maya combined together to give Lobha and Nirukti, Nikruti. Lobha and Nikruti means greed and cunningness. They combine together to give birth to Krodha and Himsa, that is anger and envy. And they combine together to give birth to Kali and Durukti. Kali means quarrel and Durukti means harsh speech. And when they combine together, they give birth to Mrityu and Bhiti. And Mrityu and Bhiti, when they combine together, they give birth to Yatana and Niraya, excessive pain and hell. Right. So this is one point here is, and therefore, the wise thing is never pick up road rage. Okay. Never pick up road rage because there is Durukti there, and then there is Kali. Quarrel is there, Durukti is there, and quarrel and Durukti, they always come with Bhiti and Mrityu and Yatana and Niraya. There are so many examples of people dying because of the fight on the road, not the road accidents. Tere gaadi ne mere gaadi ko dhakka mara, and people just pick up some quarrel on the roads, and people go wild. There is an instance of a very famous cricketer going wild and beating somebody with a bat, and that person died, and that fellow, the rest of the story. So therefore, never pick up road rage. This is very important thing. Simple understanding is, okay, let some truckwala teach him a lesson. I don't have to correct the other fellow. You just lead your life and never pick up the fight on the road. Text 5. Sangrahen maya khyata pratisarga tavanagha Trishrutva etata puman punyam vidhunoti atmano malam. Translation.
My dear Vidura, I have summarily explained the causes of devastation. One who hears this description 3 times attains piety and washes the sinful contamination from his soul. Purport. The creation takes place on the basis of goodness, but devastation takes place because of irreligion. That is the way of material creation and devastation. Here it is stated that cause of devastation is adharma or irreligion. The descendants of irreligion and falsity, born one after another, are bluffing, cheating, greed, cunning, anger, envy, quarrel, hard speech, death, fear, severe pain, and hell. All these descendants are described as signs of devastation. If a person is pious and hears about these causes of devastation, he will feel hatred for all these, and that will cause his advancement in life of piety. Piety refers to the process of cleansing the heart. As recommended by Lord Chaitanya, one has to cleanse the dust from the mirror of mind, and then advancement on the path of liberation begins. Here also the same process is recommended. Malam means contamination. We should learn to despise all the causes of devastation, beginning from irreligion and cheating, and then we shall be able to make advancement in a life of piety. The possibility of our attaining Krishna consciousness will be easier and we shall not be subjected to repeated devastation. The present life is repeated birth and death, but if we seek the path of liberation, we may be saved from repeated suffering. Okay.
So now this is the Falashruti, the text 5. Here Maitreya Muni says, I have very briefly described you the cause of devastation, that is pratisarga. And one who hears this description 3 times attains piety, and he will wash off the sinful contamination, vidunoti atmano malam, that he will wash off the sinful contamination. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, these are the things to be avoided. Which are the qualities to be developed? Those are described in Bhagavad Gita separately. 13.8 to 13.12, 18.42, 43, 44. Right. Those are different. So, but here understanding that the creation takes place on the basis of goodness, but the devastation takes place on the basis of irreligion or adharma. And the cause of devastation, adharma, the descendants of adharma and falsity we have seen: bluffing, cheating, greed, cunning, anger, envy, quarrel, harsh speech, death, fear, severe pain, yatana, and hell, niraya. All these are signs of devastations. And when one is aware of these, why it is said hearing this 3 times means read this very carefully and implement in one's life, so that one will feel hatred for all this, that one will never go on this side of adharma, and that will cause the advancement, right? So here there is no immediate magic like you hear it 3 times and there is advancement. Not like that. You hear it, we have to implement it. And like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, slowly, cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni vidhunoti atmano malam. And this will wash off. Malam means contamination. So Prabhupada says one should hear to despise all the causes of devastation, beginning from irreligion and cheating. And then we will be able to make advancement in the life of piety, and Krishna consciousness will become possible and easier. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.